Welcome to Tales with Meaning. Tonight, we unravel a tale of perseverance that starts with a young man, a shattered dream, and a moment of betrayal that could have ended it all. But what happens when the human spirit refuses to give up? In this story, we'll explore how dedication can transform even the darkest moments into stepping stones toward a dream fulfilled. Stay with us as we journey through despair, resilience, and an unexpected twist that will leave you inspired. Jason Rivers had always been a dreamer. From a young age, he was captivated by the world of architecture. He would spend hours sketching buildings, his imagination creating towering structures that blended beauty with function. By the time he reached college, his talent was undeniable, and he was on the fast track to becoming one of the youngest and brightest architects in the country. But life has a way of testing dreams. In his final year, Jason was selected for an internship at one of the most prestigious architectural firms in the city, Kramer & Brooks. This was the opportunity he had worked so hard for, a chance to learn from the best and to prove his worth. The pressure was immense, but Jason's dedication never wavered. However, just as everything seemed to be falling into place, a colleague named Peter, a charming, ambitious, and unscrupulous man, saw Jason's potential as a threat. Peter was known for his cunning ways and would stop at nothing to get ahead. Behind Jason's back, Peter began to sabotage his work, subtly altering his designs and spreading rumors that Jason was unreliable. The final blow came just days before Jason was to present his project to the firm's partners. A critical design file went missing from his computer, and despite Jason's protests, Peter managed to convince the bosses that Jason was careless and irresponsible. The project was reassigned, and Jason was left devastated, his reputation in ruins. The dream he had nurtured since childhood seemed to be slipping through his fingers. For weeks, Jason was a shell of himself. His once vibrant sketches lay untouched on his desk, covered in dust. Friends and family tried to console him, but the pain of betrayal and the fear of failure were too deep. It seemed like the end of the road for his dream. The thought of giving up haunted him every day. One evening, Jason found himself standing on a bridge overlooking the city, a city filled with the very buildings he once dreamed of designing. The cold wind whipped through his hair, and for a moment, he considered ending the pain right there. But as he stared at the skyline, something inside him stirred. This wasn't the end. It couldn't be. Jason took a deep breath, stepped back from the edge, and made a decision. He wouldn't let this defeat define him. He was going to fight back, not just for himself, but for every dreamer who had ever been told they weren't good enough. With renewed determination, Jason began to rebuild his life. He started small, taking on freelance projects that no one else wanted. The pay was minimal, and the hours were long, but Jason poured his heart into every design. Each completed project was a small victory, a reminder that he still had what it took to succeed. Meanwhile, Jason spent every spare moment refining the design that had been stolen from him. He was meticulous, ensuring that every detail was perfect. He knew that one day, he would get the chance to present it again, and when that time came, he wanted it to be flawless. Months passed, and Jason's reputation slowly began to recover. Word spread about the young architect who took on the impossible and turned it into something extraordinary. Even Kramer & Brooks couldn't ignore the rising star, and they soon found themselves in a position where they needed his expertise. A high-profile client had come to them with a challenging project, and despite their reservations, they knew Jason was the only one who could pull it off. Reluctantly, they reached out to him. Jason agreed to take on the project, but on one condition: he wanted complete creative control. The firm, desperate to secure the client, had no choice but to agree. Jason threw himself into the project with everything he had. This was his chance to show the world what he was capable of, to prove that his dream was still alive. He worked tirelessly, pushing the boundaries of conventional design, Every late night, every sacrifice was driven by his unwavering dedication. As the deadline approached, Jason knew that the project was his best work yet. But there was still one more hurdle to overcome. Peter, the man who had once sabotaged him, was still working at the firm, and he had been assigned as Jason's project manager. The tension was palpable, but Jason remained focused. This time, he wouldn't let anything or anyone stand in his way. On the day of the presentation, the conference room was filled with the firm's partners, clients, and even a few industry insiders. Jason stood before them, calm and confident, and unveiled his design. The room fell silent as they took in the intricate details, the innovative approach, and the sheer brilliance of the project. When he finished, there was a moment of hushed anticipation before the room erupted in applause. Jason had done it. His design was unanimously approved, and the client, thoroughly impressed, insisted that Jason lead the entire project. Peter's attempts to undermine him were exposed, and he was promptly dismissed from the firm. Jason's career soared after that day. The project became a landmark achievement, earning him accolades and recognition across the industry. But more importantly, it was a testament to his unwavering dedication. He had faced betrayal, despair, and the brink of giving up, but he had emerged stronger. His dream turned into reality through sheer willpower. Thank you for joining us on this journey in Tales with Meaning. Tonight's story reminded us that dedication is the key that turns dreams into reality. Jason Rivers' tale shows us that even in our darkest moments, when all seems lost, our perseverance can light the way forward. When we stay true to our dreams and refuse to give up, we find the strength to overcome any obstacle. We hope this story inspired you as much as it did us. Remember, no dream is out of reach if you are willing to dedicate yourself to it. Thanks for listening, and we look forward to sharing more tales of resilience, hope, and meaning with you. Until next time, stay dedicated and keep dreaming.